Hello and welcome to Oxford Analytica's video briefing. My name is Katerina Fytatzi and I'm joined today by our Middle East expert, Alison Baily. Today we're going to be talking about Iraq. So, Alison, a Sunni insurgent group has taken northern Iraq over by storm over the past week. Who are these guys and what is their aim?
So, Iraq has seen a very lightning offensive by a group of Sunni groups who this is a disparate array of factions, but the most high profile one of these and the most effective fighting force here is the Islamic State of Iraq and Sham. This is a group that used to be part of the global Al-Qaeda organization and which has made very rapid advances in Syria in recent months and also in Iraq, taking over Fallujah at the beginning of the year. It's really been able to feed on a lot of resentment among Iraq's Sunni community who feel that they've been the victims of very severe repression and marginalization by the Shia government in Baghdad since the departure of US forces in 2011.
So what do you think the government's reaction might be to the advances from ISIS?
Well, the government has a number of options available to it. One of these would be to attempt a complete recapture of the northwest of the predominantly Sunni areas that have fallen under the control of these insurgents. However, that would be very difficult and very risky, particularly considering the failings that we've seen so manifest in the Iraqi government forces. And another option would be to focus simply on the defense of Baghdad and of the Shia areas to its south. And this seems a much safer option for the Iraqi government and also for Iraq as a whole, because here the Iraqi forces, who are predominantly Shia, will be defending their own communities. So this, in addition to the mass mobilization of the Shia community that we've seen over the last week, means that they would have a very good chance of containing any Al-Qaeda offensive.
So we're looking at potentially a standoff between Sunni Iraq and Shia Iraq in the south. What could that mean for neighboring countries and particularly Syria, which the civil war seems to be feeding into each other?
You're right there, yes. Syria is really the most affected country here because the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria is a very prominent player in Syria. It is causing a lot of division among the other rebel factions there. So if we see a very wide-scale offensive developing in Iraq, then that would mean that both Iran and ISIS would need to shift a lot of their resources to supporting Maliki in Baghdad. On the one hand, this would be a problem for the Syrian government because it would mean that they would have less militia fighters to help keep their key positions inside Syria. But on the other hand, the situation is also positive for the Syrian government because it can present itself now to the international community as a bulwark against an increasingly resurgent and threatening Islamic State of Iraq and Sham.
So a major propaganda victory for Assad then. Well, thank you very much for this, Alison, and thank you for joining us today for our video. If you would like to learn more about Iraq or wider issues, please join us on our website at oxan.com. Thank you.